Every club. Every
day. Oh no.
The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Daily Newcastle podcast. My name is Michael Grahamsall and I'm today's host. And today, firstly, I'm joined by No, not Jimmy. I nearly said Joe and I don't even know where I got that from, but Nicola Pringle Adams. How's it going? You know what? How are you doing? I was going to cut that, but you know what? It's fun. Why not? I mess up all the time. How's it going, Jimmy?
I am perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. I feel like I should call Joe something wrong now, but it's all right. We're also joined by Joe, in case you hadn't noticed. How's it going, Joe?
I'm peachy. I'm just going to be nice, boring Joe tonight. I don't want to be Jimmy.
Well, if there's any Jimmies out there, I'm directly talking to you, and you can join in on today's podcast in the comments. But for now, I am joined by Nicola and Joe, and I've got a number of topics actually I want to talk about today. Firstly, top 5, 36 games down, 2 still to play. Arsenal and Everton. Arsenal are next for Eddie Howe's men. We've beaten them 3 times this season. Arguably, we do need a draw, some might say, just to make it comfortable on the last day of the season. But after Sunday's performance, are you comfortable of getting a result, Joe?
Yeah. Well, me and Nick predicted 4 wins, so to be fair, we've only been wrong once so far. So
all
we're
season
still on track. No, just the last 4. Good. So the Brighton one was when we got it wrong, but we got it wrong and we still drew. It's fine. Chelsea was a nice, comfortable win, wasn't it? Very comfortable for the lads. But yeah, to be fair, I'd be happy with a sneaky little 1-0 win just to see another game where we beat them 4 out of 4 with no goal scored against us, and Arteta crying his way all the way back and us finishing second, and Ian having the most celebratory win. Bless him.
Of the season.
Bless him. Fair play to him putting that bet on though, but yeah, second would just be unreal, right?
Yeah, he's been saying all season, well, not all season, the last 2-3 months that we're going to finish second, and I've been telling him he's wrong the entire time. And, well, the weekend might be the day I finally look like an idiot. And some people might be thinking that's happened a number of times already, Jimmy. But how about you, Nick? Are you confident about getting a result at the Emirates?
I am as confident. Yes, I am confident that we're going to get a result at the Emirates, more so because the Arteta breakdowns that have been happening over the course of the last couple of weeks, he's already lost it. He's already gone. He's gone. His head's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone. And it has been gone since we smashed him in the semi-finals. So it's gone. We're going to do it.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride, as Liverpool fans aptly put it.
That was brilliant.
Absolutely fantastic. Talk about the terrible tifo that they did for the Champions League semi-final. Liverpool blew it out the water, and then, well, we did exactly the same against Chelsea. Great atmosphere there. But Arsenal fans wouldn't know anything about that. But I want to talk about tactics. Yeah, tactics on a Tuesday. Who'd have thought it? We all started on Sunday with the 5-2-3. It was the first time Barnes, Isak, Gordon and Murphy. I nearly combined those 2 as well there. I'm having moments at the start of this podcast. It's the first time they've all started together. But if Trippier and Willock are both fit, and maybe even if they're not, can you see Eddie Howe sticking with the back 5 at the Emirates? What do you think, Nick?
I am not sure that Eddie Howe is going to use that same formation. I know it's different ever so slightly, but we did a 5 at the back technically for a game against Arsenal. Was it one of the semi-finals?
Yeah. It was, yeah.
Is he going to do that this time round? Will Mikel Arteta be expecting that? I think he might change it up. Depending on the Trippier situation. I don't know too much about the Willock situation, but depending on the Trippier situation, I think he may possibly change it back up. But who knows? Because he's constantly surprising me, so he might change it completely.
I don't think anyone saw the formation coming at the weekend, not even Chelsea, which is why we scored so early. But what do you think, Joe? Another 5 at the back against Arsenal?
Again, just what you've just said, we didn't really expect it to be Chelsea, did we? So prior to the Chelsea game, I did say that I wanted 5 at the back for the Arsenal. So it's a funny one, isn't it? Because again, we are talking about like ifs and buts on the whole availability thing. But let's pretend it is as it is, if you know what I mean, and Trip still isn't free and Willock still isn't free, sort of thing. I would still play it personally. I know what you mean about Arteta being ready for it, so to speak, but doesn't mean he can handle it. He might try to be ready for it,
True.
but I still think we can be so much more effective. However, it's such a strange one, because I think Barnes had a bit of a poor game personally, but then, you know, he's been great recently as well, so we can't say too much. But yeah, I'd still like to see the 5 at the back. So I just think it works so well, and I think we can make it work yet again against Arsenal.
Yeah, 100%. And if we do play that 5 at the back, it does mean that Sven Botman's likely to play again, which I know Nicola in particular will be very, very happy about. But it'll actually only be 7th start of the season, which is a bit baffling considering he is our best centre-back, but he's just been injured so much. And in those 7 starts, 3 of them will have been against Arsenal, which he just seems to come back. Yeah, he comes back,
So he must
helps
start.
us beat Arsenal, and then just
Fine.
goes off injured again. So don't expect him to see him play against Everton, but he will be there for a win against Arsenal. And actually, at the minute, in those 7 starts, we've only actually been behind for 26 minutes while Sven Botman's been on the pitch this season. So a very good omen ahead of
Indeed.
the weekend's fixture. And most of them were against Bournemouth, which we don't talk about Bournemouth because that was very, very poor.
Strange.
Yeah.
Strange
Game. But
Strange.
speaking of the Arsenal game, I do have a question for you both, and it's around actually ticket sales. So Joe, you're the general sale whiz, so maybe you haven't experienced this as much. But me and Nicola have had this conversation a couple of times. Every club has had huge complaints over recent years regarding the atmosphere declining. A huge part of that, in my opinion, is through ticket resales. I saw a video on X just before there of a Chelsea fan in the Newcastle end, where all of Newcastle fans are celebrating, and he's just sat there just shrugging his shoulders. But I went on seat pick on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. Can you guess how many tickets were available to buy for the game?
For the Chelsea game, yeah?
Yeah.
Got to be over 400.
I was going to say about 250.
Put them together and you have an answer. Over 700 tickets were available for the game, each at a minimum of 70 quid plus additional fees. It's a global problem and it's only getting worse. And I think it's a large part of the reason why a number of Newcastle fans want a new stadium. But the big question is, and Joe, I'm going to put you on the spot here. How do you fix that as a club? Do you try and find out whose seats it is and take potentially season tickets away from them, or do you think it's something we can't stop?
I think there's got to be a way, surely. I know everything's so digital now and they're obsessed with this digital format and they won't have any paper tickets and stuff. But if they are so obsessed with this digital format, there's got to now be a better way of tracing it as well. Because I am the whole witchcraft, apparently, resale queen, but I am getting it through the Newcastle site, so it is legit. Yeah. It's always in my name. The one and only time I've ever had a ticket off, what is it, football tickets? What's the most
There's a few,
one,
yeah,
anyway?
live football tickets.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
It was the PSG game. My husband bought us for just me going on my own. He spent 200 quid on it. But 200 quid well spent for the PSG game, I'm sorry. Obviously, it was 100%. Risky. We didn't know that was going to happen, but it was. I would have happily now paid more. But the point is, I've only ever had one experience of it, but at least I now know what the kind of experience is. It has got someone's name on it. It is someone's ticket. So whether they are a season ticket holder or whether they're a member, someone has sold it on that site. I do not have any idea, by the way, of what sort of kind of cut they get of this kind of £200. Say, I'm going to use that example. I don't know what they get. I don't know what ticket whatever gets the site, if you know what I mean. But surely now there should be a trace because, for example, when I went in on that ticket, then if I had been flagged, I had all the person's details right there. Not that I would necessarily want them to get in trouble, but at the same time, I think, it's a risk you're going to take. I'll be honest, look, as a member, I wouldn't risk my membership being, like, I wouldn't buy a ticket, say, for example, for any game and then sell it on one of those sites. Because I don't want my membership taken off us. I don't want to be banned from St. James's Park. It's as simple as that. And I think
100%.
anyone that's willing to risk it, then I'm sorry, yes, you should be banned because you're literally profiteering. On these sites, you're not selling it for face value. If you're doing it for face value, by the way, I'm all for helping another fan out. So if you buy a ticket for 50 quid and you want to sell for 50 quid, go for it. You're not profiteering. You're just helping another fan go to a game that you can't go to. But if you're going to spend 50 quid on a ticket and sell for 150 quid, then no, I'm sorry, you're profiteering over any of the club getting money. But there has to be a way. there has to be a way. There's names on these tickets. Like, these are not imaginary people; they're real people.
No,
So
100%.
yes, there has to be. I don't know what the way is, but come on, I'm not a tech whiz, and I'm not. But surely there's people high enough getting paid enough money to try and trace these things.
100%. And there is a system on the Newcastle site where you can resell back to the club. So it shows that they're not doing it for the reason that us three would have, let's say the cup final, we have a ticket, one of us managed to get a ticket, we can't go. We wouldn't put it online for $1,000 extra like a lot of people are doing. We'd make sure another Newcastle fan actually got to go. And unfortunately, that's not what's happening. But what do you think, Nicola? Is there a way of fixing this issue, or is it something that's just going to plague football from going forward?
Unfortunately, it's one of these things that is difficult to police, and by police I mean like the club to police, at the ground and things like that. We can't expect the people that are allowing us through the turnstiles to stop every single person. We'd be out there for bloody hours. But there has to be a way in the digital world somewhere where people can be monitoring these people selling these tickets on. And you just mentioned the Carabao Cup final. It's disgusting that people are buying their Carabao Cup final ticket for, I don't know what the cheapest was, 70 quid maybe. And you go onto the sites that you're talking about and they're on there for like £2,000. And it's just like, these people are it's disgusting. It's like robbery. And it's happening to every single football club. We're not the first ones it's going to happen to. It won't be the last ones it's going to happen to. But there has to be a way. And unfortunately, I am gonna sit there and say these fans that are doing that aren't not real fans, but they aren't real fans in my eyes. I mean, you're sitting there, like you've just said, I would sell mine back to the club. If I could give it to one of you guys in your name and change your name, then I would. Or to a friend, or to my family, or anything like that. And I would ask for face value. I wouldn't even ask for anything. But these people that are doing it, some of them have got season tickets, and they're benefiting from them season tickets, whilst other people are going to them games. And it doesn't sit right with me. It gives me a really sour taste. And there's going to have to be some sort of way in the football industry, in the football world, every club, where they can tackle down on it and stop these people from doing it, because it just doesn't sit right.
Yeah, 100%. And as we mentioned, it's not just us. You see Manchester United, Old Trafford, in European games, it's horrendous. I know Rangers fans got in the home end. The Swedish team, whose name I always butcher and I never really try to say it properly, but against Chelsea, the home end, if there's a video circulating online where literally hundreds of thousands are sat in the home end and making it into the away end. So it's not safe for fans at all. And I know it doesn't just happen at Newcastle, but it is something that needs to be fixed. If anyone has any ideas that we can put forward to the club, Daily Newcastle can indeed save the day with your help. Ring the number. No. But on that note, speaking about helping, let's go to Bioniq for some great advertisements.
Your body is unique. And Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements, designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. So, speaking about what's right for you, we're going to move on and talk about what's right for Newcastle United in the summer. And I want to mention the versatility of a number of squad players, because a lot of our squad players do get a little bit of stick. But on Sunday, we saw Jacob Murphy, very much a loved player on this podcast. He played at right back right wing back, should we say, for a large portion of the game, and did very well. Tino plays both sides. Kraft and Target are filled in at centre back at times. Joe Linton can basically play anywhere in that front six. The wingers are comfortable at rotating. I could go on for years, but that would be a very boring part of the podcast. So I'm going to ask you, Nick, do you think the versatility of Newcastle United's squad players actually gives us an advantage in the transfer market in the summer, allowing us to sort of focus on specific positions, knowing numbers isn't a problem, but quality is actually the problem in certain places?
I haven't really thought about it until you've actually just positioned it to me in regards to how versatile our team actually is.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
It is actually quite funny to think, because I feel like you could put Joe Linton in goal and he'd still do a cracking job. coming from someone that criticised that player so much when he first joined. Look, yes, our club is our players are versatile. I mean, Emil Kraft, he deserves a massive shout out because he looks like he plays every single game and doesn't look like it affects him. Do you know what I mean? And he came on yesterday on Sunday and he done an absolute cracking job. And he is a player that doesn't get enough recognition as a fan base, not just from us. But there's no doubt. You're right, Joe. Just running off.
I realised I could hear my daughter's and I thought it's going to be drowning out you talking actual sense. So,
I thought she was running away from the question.
No. There is no doubt among the fan base as a whole that we do need to upgrade certain positions. Let's be honest. Now, I won't shy away from that. Jacob Murphy is unreal and he is probably hit the form of his life in most recent months, weeks. Is that still a position that we need to probably get another player in? Absolutely. Is that me saying that Jacob Murphy deserves to be taken that position away and put on the bench? No, but it does mean that we do need to have a backup and a decent one at that, because we've spoke before about squad rotation, and when we get smacked with injuries, so as you've seen with Trippier and Willock, I appreciate these are not the same positions, but we don't struggle. But if two players yesterday were to get injured, we would be a little bit thin on the ground. So yes, we do have a versatile squad and they all do a fantastic job where they're told to play, and they can all slot in where they need to, but it still does mean we do need to upgrade certain positions for that squad rotation and depth, particularly if we get into when we get the Champions League next year.
We are. Yep.
100%. And what do you think, Joe? Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, we've discussed the kind of versatility of all of our players, especially I love the versatility of the front. I was going to say front three, but it's not even the front three, is it really? So I know you've got Gordon play on both sides and the middle. Barnes technically can also play all three. And then you've got Isak, who will obviously predominantly play in the middle, but is great on the left as well. But then you've got Murphy, like you say, he's not just a right winger. He can play the right wing back or simply a right back as well at times he's done. I think he's even played on the left at times, isn't he? I mean, we could go through the whole team, right? And we could just repeat ourselves here, but I'm absolutely agreeing with everything you guys have just said. We've got Asula, who I think he's quite versatile. He's not just a striker. We could use him in other positions as well.
I agree.
But I think what will be amazing is if we can kind of just keep building on that. So keep the talent we've got. We've always talked about how we don't just need like an excellent 11. We need kind of quality backups for each player as well. So absolutely, I'm with you on the right wing situation. We do need a right winger. However, going back to anything we've said a million times over, would love to see the likes of Mbeumo come in. Because again, he's versatile. So he's not just a right winger. So for us to buy even more versatile players and just have this kind of squad depth of versatility would be unreal, instead of just having squad depth of almost set positions. So like kind of build on what we've got. Yeah. We could be, I was going to say indestructible, and that's totally the wrong word. So, what am I going to say? Unbeatable?
Mint.
Unreal. Belter. We're going to be Belter, man.
I want a goalkeeper that can play
we're going to be Belter.
Kind of versatility I want.
But like you say, stick Big Joe in. I reckon if Big Joe's running out of goal, you just like, doesn't matter, you can have it.
I'm crying and running the other way.
Exactly that. But they've been fantastic, haven't they, man? Honestly.
Yeah, unreal.
And that cracking stuff, and that leads me to the final question of part 2, which is you have one position you can fill. Knowing we've got that versatility, where is it? Is it right wing still? Or is it maybe somewhere? Oh, well, Nick's just answered the question point blank there. But what about you, Joe? Is it right wing or is it centre back or wherever?
Well, I kind of did give my answer, didn't I? Because I'm going to go back to Mbeumo. The backup right wing. But then again, we've got great backup because he can play in the middle as well. So I'm going to stick with that and still say Mbeumo would be my shout there. Yeah.
Okay, 2 for Mbeumo. Let's just hope Fabian Shaw doesn't end up really old and decrepit. Actually, that's a horrible way to use. He's a great player.
He never gets old. He doesn't age.
My thought process was that the aging centre-backs, it's one of those where obviously we look to fill it in the summer. Mark A maybe coming in, but let us know. Is Mbeumo number one? Is Mbeumo number one? You can tell I've run home from work, can't you?
You tried to...
Is Mbeumo
and Gahey.
Yeah.
He did.
Well, what can I say? You combine the two, by the way, there. You've got the greatest
Yeah.
outside of the top 6 player ever, because they're not going to play for a top 6 player, but they're both fantastic. But yeah, if you think Embuemo and you agree with Nick and Joe, let us know. If you think elsewhere, let us know as well. Why not? But in the meantime, we're going to go to our favourite advert, one that's been with us since the very beginning, and it's always read out by, well, it should always be run out by one of the queens of Zencastr. Which one of you is giving it to me today? Actually, that's...
I'll do. I'll go. I'll try not to screw it up.
Yeah.
Is it...
PG
Oh,
only.
Jimmy, do you want to do it?
I am fine. You crack on, fun. You go, Jimmy.
Thank you, darling.
Jimmy.
Word it better than Addy, please.
I'm not looking anymore. Here at the Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform. Zencastr came out the clear winner with 4K video recording from your phone and AI editing that automatically removes all those ums and ahs. It's super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, check out the link in the show description to learn more about Zencastr.
Absolutely fantastic. I asked you to word it better than I did, and you did exactly that. And we're going to move to a topic where I'm going to be honest, I'm just going to shut up. Not for the rest of the podcast, obviously, but I'm going to let you both talk on the topic of our new badge. So, obviously, for those that don't know, Newcastle United are looking to change the badge. Since 1988, we've had the current rendition. Leave a comment if you think it should be changing, how you feel about it, and maybe let us know what you think it should be. But if it's something that's tearing away the history of the precious club, or is it just another thing to keep it fresh? In the meantime, what's your opinion, Joe?
Was it not always expected? Have we not actually been expecting this for quite a few seasons now? So I wasn't surprised at all, I've got to be honest. I know there's been a social media uproar, but let's get real. There's a social media uproar when anything happens.
Anything.
You know, so really, come on, everyone's kicking off and everyone wants to have their opinion and, oh my God, they can't do this. Well, actually they can. And like you said there, like it's been 1988. I mean, we're talking a long time since the last badge change. And was the previous badge about, 5-6 years long?
Yeah.
I love that one, by the way, the simplicity of the NUFC with the little magpie.
The little magpie.
And I know they won't, but I'd happily go back to that one, or I'd happily go back to the previous one, which again wasn't around for very long, with the bit more detail, but it was still the circular badge, wasn't it? Newcastle United, it had the magpie, the castle.
I love
and
that
I've seen people trying to almost tweak that one and say that maybe we should bring that back, just change the colours on it a bit. I get what they're saying there, but I really don't think they're simply going to just take one of the old badges and bring that back. I would happily have either, but yeah. Look, come on, man. It's a long overdue. I love the badge. I don't want it to change. Don't get us wrong, but it's long overdue in terms of how many years we've had this one in particular. Yeah. So I just hope they do the right thing. I know they've put this whole fan forum thing out. We've all had emails and stuff like this on what would you do. But can you imagine the vast amount of different answers you're going to get in that form? Like, come on. They're going to design what they're going to design. I just hope they do the right thing and keep it as relevant in Newcastle as possible. Leave it at that in terms of maybe including the magpie, including the castle or the time bridge, or just something that's very relevant to us. Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous because you never know, because you don't know who's designing it. I'd love it to be bring in a Geordie designer who knows us, right, and who knows what the fans are going to want, and just So I am nervous, but it was overdue, I suppose.
So no sausage rolls, no Stone Island badges.
Imagine
like
Sam Fender,
good old sausage, a big old fist with a sausage roll setting out. That's what we're talking about, isn't it? Yeah.
A big eye for people watching. We've advertised it enough. It's on
dear
the shirt.
me, I know,
it's on the
exactly.
shirt right there.
He's got his own shirt with like him on the back of it. I have to see if I can get a photo and show it before the end of the pod. But yeah, I need that.
It's every Newcastle fan's dream, but it's been milked to death. But Nick, what do you think? What do you think about the badge change? Should I say?
First of all, I mean, I'm actually really gutted that we're changing it. I've got to be honest. But I kind of expected it because, let's be honest, new owners, new era and all that. I knew some sort of change was coming. Obviously, you got the ground rumours, and I'm sure that's going to be confirmed at some point in the summer. And now we've got the badge changing. Obviously, we've had all of our sponsors and that change, so fine. My problem with it, my gripe with it is I'm a little bit miffed off that they decided to announce it 2 days before our probably said most important game of the season so far. Premier League season, by the way, not the Carabao Cup final. And it caused this massive uproar with fans. I'm thinking, could we not have just waited until the end of May to announce that? That was my first gripe. The second gripe, don't know if you guys done the form, they're changing the badge. I'm not sure why they're asking, because the questions they were asking were very like, we're doing this, so pretty much. Very vague, very, very vague. And they're going to change it. They're just going out to fans just to tick that box. And I'm really, really bad slagging the club off, because obviously we're so grateful to have the owners and, you know, the times that we have now. We're so grateful. I'm so grateful for it. But it almost feels like on the pitch and off the pitch are two different scenarios currently. I feel like they're a little bit apart. I don't mind that we're changing the badge. I feel gutted about it. I don't mind that we're changing it. What I don't want to happen is the badge to become soulless, if that's the right word to use. Like, I hate the Arsenal badge. I hate the new Arsenal badge. I'm not a massive fan of it. I find it a bit boring. And I think the problem I have with it is I find our badge at the moment just very iconic.
Yeah, I get that.
And I'm a bit worried in case. I mean, I'm all for change. Don't get me wrong. I know we've kind of got to move with the times. I don't know if that's the right phrase to use, because I don't know if a badge will change all that much, but I don't want it to become soulless and mean nothing, whereas I find our badge at the moment is maybe it's just iconic to me, I don't know, but that's my opinion.
I get that. It's one of those that when you walk through Newcastle in the summer, you do see the Newcastle United crest tattooed on almost every possible crevice someone could be showing. There's a Newcastle United badge somewhere. And it's as nice as that is, I can only imagine if you've got that tattoo, it's going to be not great. But thankfully, Joe, when on the day it was announced, you got your tattoo. Looks absolutely fantastic.
Maybe
but
they should make my tattoo the new badge.
Right?
Nice. I've got, it's two magpies, right? There's relevance here. I reckon I'm going to put that petition forward. I'm going to send my tattoo to the club and just be, look, check it out. What do you think?
This is what I designed.
How do you think it? Can you imagine?
Love it.
Yeah. Everyone's getting the same one.
But we mentioned, Nick, you mentioned that it felt like a bit of a tick box exercise that the club were sending out the emails. Joe, do you agree with that?
Yeah. Come on, is it not? And I'm not slating the club here, by the way. This is just a big corporate company tick box exercise. We all work for big corporate companies, by the way, so we know exactly what we're talking about there. Because sometimes they're going to ask us, staff, fans, whatever, for your input, when really your input's pretty much minimal to non-existent anyway, and it's just doing it so that they say they've done it. But like I said at the start, in my bit there, I think there's just too much information going anyway. They've asked some very vague questions. You could write something in a box, which I did. But as I was typing it, I was thinking, why am I even typing this? Because so many other people are going to be typing millions of different things. And they'll be pulling all this in and go, I'm not reading all that.
Changed it anyway.
But they sent the survey out, didn't they? So that's the main thing. But like I said, they'll have designers. Designers will do what they want to do, which is why I kind of joked that I hope it's a Geordie designer.
Yeah, makes sense.
I kind of get like, they're wanting to become this, I guess, a global brand, maybe. I don't know. Like when we go anywhere abroad, the PSG the PSG badge, the Juventus, particularly the new Juventus badge, the Real Madrid badge, they're also like globally recognized and very basic. I don't know if this is the club's way of saying, hey, we want to be that club. This is where we want to go. I want Americans walking around in Miami in a Newcastle top, like like we do here with, I don't know, like the New York Yankees baseball top just says New York Yankees on it. Do you know what I mean? It's things like that. I get they want to become a global brand, but I just hope in the process of becoming that and taking that club the extra step forward, we don't lose our identity a little bit, because we're the ones that matter. Hello, we are the ones that matter over here. So,
You're 100% right. And I think when you look at like global brands such as McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Disney, Ferrari, they all have very recognizable logos and they're all very simple, as you say. But do you think, even though they've sent out those emails, do you think they've already got one pretty much lined up, ready to go?
Absolutely.
What do you think, Nick? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think...
They've not just sent that out on the whim of, we're going to start designing the badge. They've already got the
They know
badge
what they're
designed.
doing.
They know what they're doing. They're not silly. They're business people. Let's be honest. They're business. They're sending the form out to probably gain a general feeling of what the fan base is feeling. If they went onto Twitter, X, they would have got that straight away.
Don't do that. Don't
went
do
in
that.
uproar.
Scary place.
Scary place. I personally would love to see, I mean, I know there'll be a lot of forms, but I would personally to see what the general feeling is like, because it's very mixed out there. But yeah, they're
100%.
changing it. They know they're changing it.
Yeah. Do you agree, Joe?
Yeah, well, didn't they say something that they wanted to win something with this badge, and then they would consider doing it anyway?
Yeah.
Look what's happened.
There you go.
We've won the cup.
There you go.
Look what happens. What we're not even 2 months past the cup, and we've already put the announcement out. So they've kind of stuck by what they said, at least. They waited until we won something with that
Truthful.
badge.
Yeah.
So
They keep their word, and that's fine. But I would like to say that I would have loved to have seen some concepts that people would have actually put together. Whether it's like Shola on his bike with the apple in his hand, Isak with the dog. Just incorporate all of that into the Newcastle United logo and just send it off, because we're very creative people, us Geordies. Not the most sensible, but I think that's what everyone loves about us.
Can we have the Jacob Murphy one where he's waving?
Special. That's not the way to put it.
But yes, Nick, I want that one.
Yeah, the wave, 100%.
That'd be fantastic.
Just every iconic Geordie meme, just whack it all into one. We can make it a GIF. We can be the first club with a GIF as a badge. I'm not sure how that would work for shirts, but I'd love
every
it.
game. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Michael, I totally misheard what you said there. I thought you said piff at the start, not GIF. So when you said piff, have you actually seen someone's wonderful rendition? Because obviously there has been a million different fans putting out their own designs. It was horrific, man. Like, I couldn't even help. Well, you know what I'm like on social media anyway. I can't help but say something. But they took what the badge is now, right? And you know, like at the top where there's like the kind of line and the flag thing and that, they changed that into the Saudi flag. They put green and white, and I'm like, guys, come on, man! Like, we're not getting hammered enough.
No,
You're
we
gonna
don't
literally
need that.
put half of a damn badge. They had like down the sides where the seahorses were. It was like I don't know, something Saudi. So it was like Saudi dress sort of thing. I was like, guys, like that's like, there's poop housery, but then that's taking the pee a bit.
We're not having that.
Newest entry into the Saudi League, Al Mags.
Al Mags.
On that
That's our
note,
new stadium. Al Mags Stadium.
Oh, God.
Right. On that note, we're going to leave it there, and I'm going to leave you with the thought of Al Mags. And well, hopefully we don't see anything like that. But put your concepts in and let us know what you think about the badge, because the more bizarre, the better. Gives me a laugh, at least. See you later.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.